or south, east or west, the quest to save the life of Pelamar goes far.
Did you want to skedaddle?
Oh, I'm standing in this corner so the corner doesn't make that weird sharp echo.
Oh,
you want to go and shut the door?
Yeah.
I'll walk to the entire opposite side of this, like, not particularly large room.
Sacrifices you make.
Oh, God. And I'll walk back.
If you could.
Oh, that was 4 steps.
Right.
Why don't they call you Stephanie Sterling, since you're making me walk from A to B?
Don't watch yourself, you'll call me Step on Me Sterling. That was me being all Dommy.
See, now I want to be good.
That's how you do it. Welcome to the Jimquisition, everyone. I'm James Step on Me Sterling, your humble host X on yet another ridiculous journey into a ridiculous industry. Before we crack on, I just want to thank everybody who shared such kind words about my writing in Vampire Survivors. It came out of early access a few days ago at the time of talking, and my bestiary entries, my world building, and my great milk puns have gone over really well. A very small handful of people did get upset because I happened to trans one of the characters, but I can't be blamed because I didn't give a fuck. Speaking of fucks, holy fuck! That Bayonetta story has gone from strength to fucking strength. So let's talk about that, shall we? And a very special shout out to the person who, in response to last week's video and subsequent developments, said, "Well, you're just out here lying to your fans. Get off your own dick." As I'm sure Rooster Teeth's PR department must say on a regular basis now, let's deal with this great big fucking disaster. I am, of course, talking about the ongoing and increasingly messy dispute between Bayonetta 3's creators and its former leading voice actor Helena Taylor. Last week, we talked about Taylor's plea for a boycott in response to claims that she was offered a piddling amount of money, and we used that to focus on the wider issue of how the game industry treats its voice actors. Since then, the story has had yet more details and is currently in everybody's favourite territory, the fabled and mystical realm of he said, she said. Indeed, a level of drama so juicy has been unfolding that the very real problem of voice actors deserving better compensation may have just been completely buried underneath it. Following the original story regarding Bayonetta 3, more details came to light as Bloomberg reported Platinum's unofficial side of the story, using the game industry's most talkative public figure, Dr. A. Anonymous Sources. Now, Dr. Anonymous Sources somewhat disputes Taylor's original claim, or at least offers a side that suggests she may have lied by omission. As Taylor initially put it, she was offered $4,000 to reprise her role as Bayonetta, but according to the story heard and backed up by Bloomberg and VGC, thank you Justin for the reminder in the video to re-record this bit, that figure was not the entire payment, but a per session figure, with Taylor set to record her lines over at least 5 sessions at 3 to 4k a pop. This would put the full payment somewhere above $15,000. Now, I'm pretty much convinced I have dyscalculia as my ability to comprehend mathematics is severely impaired, but I have a sneaking suspicion that $15,000 is a fair jump up from $4,000. I think. Don't quote me on that. The sources within Platinum allege Taylor demanded a 6-figure sum plus residuals, something the studio wouldn't agree to. If this is the case, then Taylor did indeed lie by omission, stating a basic fact that $4,000 was an offered figure, but hiding the significantly larger amount of compensation offered in total. For her part, Taylor has refused to back down, stating that the countering story is an absolute lie. She still stands by her initial statements. So what exactly is the deal? Well, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, who broke the development, is not exactly known for missing when he shoots, and if he and VCG both claim they can verify documentation, I am inclined to believe them. And that sucks, because the core of the issue still remains the same. Okay, here's a last minute note, because I'm just apparently never going to be allowed to be done talking about this fucking story. While Laura was doing the subtitles, she noted that Helena Taylor has now confirmed that she was indeed offered closer to 15k than a flat $4,000. She still defends herself, doesn't think she was misleading in what she said, says that the Platinum sources are still lying. But this was important context to add, so I've thrown it in basically at the, just before we were about to publish the video, because Lord fucking knows I don't want next Monday to be about this either. The rest of the original video now follows. Pretty much everything I said last week about the story still remains the same. Voice actors are not given the respect or the compensation they deserve. They do deserve more money, they do deserve to have their performances seen as more than easily replaceable, and they do deserve residuals like actors in literally every other medium. In fact, some have argued that the $15,000 figure without residuals is still too low, and certainly in comparison to actors in film, television and radio, it really is a sliver of the potential action they could be owed. SAG-AFTRA should absolutely be negotiating better compensation and protection for voice actors, and the game industry should most certainly stop viewing actors as easily disposable and behaving as if their work isn't important and doesn't contribute to the success of a game. But this is now completely overshadowed by the dramatics of the whole affair, and if Taylor lied, it was utter stupidity on her part that has not just tanked her credibility, but significantly damaged efforts in the industry to treat voice actors better. This trash fire of a story will lend unfair discredit to any future actors who speak up about their treatment, or they'll at least have their stories inextricably associated with this one. Already, people in the community who make a habit of standing for corporations have used this development to justify their automatic circling of the wagons around games companies. It looks like Taylor lied to make herself more sympathetic. It also appears as if she's just not a good fucking person in general, as it's been found that she seems to follow a bunch of bigots and she's said things about trans people that veer dangerously toward the hateful gender-critical set. At the kernel of her arguments is a very legitimate point. Voice actors aren't treated well enough. But the fact she may have made that point in the worst way possible while becoming less and less sympathetic in the process may have completely fucked it up. Platinum has only made an official statement to support Jennifer Hale, the actor brought in to replace Taylor. And really, Hale might be the only genuinely sympathetic person in this whole debacle. Because of course she was harassed and abused in the wake of this situation. Naturally, the gaming community can't get itself involved in anything without a bunch of utter fucking losers taking controversy as an excuse to just be the worst fucking twats imaginable. The hatred poured on Hale is absolutely unconscionable. I didn't want to focus on her as the replacement performer last week for the very understanding that abuse would likely happen by people who really don't give a single solitary shit about voice actors, or indeed any real issue. They're just constantly, desperately looking for an excuse to hurt someone and feel like what they're doing is okay. Jennifer Hale is not the problem. Jennifer Hale did fuck all wrong. She is an actor who took an acting job. That is her entire involvement with the issue. I doubt she knew the full situation. Platinum wasn't telling anybody else jack shit and still hasn't made an official statement on Helena Taylor outside of its original line about overlapping circumstances. To go after an actor for taking an acting job when that's literally all she did is pathetic. Nobody who did that gave an actual fuck. I still stand by pretty much everything I said in my video last week. The context that inspired that video may have changed, but the message absolutely hasn't. Like I said, this is a problem way bigger than Bayonetta 3, and if anybody had planned to boycott the game over it, they'd have to boycott most so-called AAA video games to remain consistent. It's been over 14 years since Michael Hollick first spoke up about not receiving residuals for Grand Theft Auto 4, an arrangement that could have rightly made him millions off the back of the hundreds of millions Rockstar made. 14 years, multiple stories, and a voice actor's strike later, and nothing has changed. Thanks to this fuck heap of a situation, any push for change now faces a climb steeper than it ever had to be.
Something totally new in cleaning. New Jif Cream with its highly effective wipe-away formula. Let's challenge it. On one side, traditional cream cleaner. On the other side, new Jif Cream. Now wipe. It all looks very clean, but now look closer. With traditional cream, your problem starts here. White, chalky residues. Cream, 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 cream. White residues, cream. Residues, now wipe.
So there you have it, a video that makes the very important overruling point that no matter what happened, I was still mostly right. And really, isn't that the most important takeaway that anyone could have in any situation? That James Stephanie Sterling is mostly right. That is, after all, why they thank God for me, why you will thank God for me. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for your support on Patreon, thank you for reading the new game reviews that have been going up on thejimquisition.com, make sure you add the V. No, seriously, like, Jimquisition.com is like some malware shit or something, like, it's thejimquisition.com. My next wrestling date is November 4th in Leeds for True Grit Wrestling, and the next event that I am, working on with my husband, Spectrum Wrestling, we have a new show coming to Sheffield on November 19th. Tickets should be, or certainly will soon be available at buy.at/Spectrum Wrestling. Hope to see you there. I'm being flagged.
Buy tickets at.
Buy tickets.
Buy tickets.at/.
Did I not say that?
No, you missed the tickets. It's fine, just...
Buy tickets.at/Spectrum Wrestling. There we go.
I'll text it to Justin. You can just put it over your text.
They'll text it to Justin and he'll put it all over my tits. Wouldn't be the first time. We've never actually done it.